Hey guys, today we're going to start our unit on short stories. So if you will please get out a piece of paper or your writing notebook and you're going to take notes as you follow along. So what is a short story? What makes it different from any other story? Well, a short story is a fictional narrative that presents a sequence of events or a plot that includes a conflict. Since we just finished our unit on personal narratives, I'm now going to compare them to short stories. The first element we're going to discuss is the topic. In a short story, your topic can be imagined and you can have unlimited ideas of what you want your topic to be. You can be as creative as you want. However, in our personal narratives, you had to have a real incident, and your topic was limited to what really happened. Like the topic of a short story, the setting can also be an imaginary time and place. And like the topic of a narrative, the time and place had to come from a real incident, a memory that actually happened. An important element of our stories is the plot. In a short story, the plot is a sequence of events based on a conflict with an implied meaning or theme. In our personal narratives, the sequence of events was based around an incident that occurred, and it had an actual statement about the significance of this incident and a reflection at the end of the story. Next, we'll discuss the characters, something I think you guys are really going to enjoy. In our short stories, our characters can be any person, animal, or object that you can come up with. Unlike our personal narratives, where the main character had to be the narrator, it was in a first-person perspective, so you yourself were the main character. It wasn't very creative. Finally, let's discuss dialogue. In a short story, you can have an imaginary dialogue, anything that's going to revolve around the plot. In our personal narratives, you were limited to what was really said. You had to recreate dialogue from your incident. Now that we've compared our short story to personal narratives, let's break down some elements of what a short story is. The first thing we're going to talk about is the theme. The theme is a central idea, message, or purpose of a literary work. Like we discussed when I told you about the plot, it is implied, meaning you don't specifically have a statement that tells you what the theme is in the story. Now for the fun part of short stories, the plot. The plot is a sequence of events that make up a story. The plot is divided into 6 main elements. First, the exposition. The exposition is events giving background information needed to understand the story. The exposition typically reveals the setting, the major characters, and the conflict. Next, we have the rising action. The rising action is the major events that develop the plot and lead to the climax. The climax is the turning point of the story. The falling action is events that begin to conclude the story and lead to the ending. Finally, we have the resolution. The resolution is events that conclude the story and reveal the theme. Here's something we've all seen before. This is a graphic organizer of the plot called a plot diagram. It is used to organize the events that occur in the story. And that's all for our quick little presentation on short stories. If you'll go back to our Google Classroom, I have added a blank plot diagram in which you're going to fill in the elements of the plot for the story, The Three Little Pigs. If you haven't read it before, which I think you all have, please Google The Three Little Pigs, read it real quick, and then you can fill out the plot diagram. Submit it, and let me know so that we can dig into our story for the week. Thanks, guys.